Welcome back to The Edge. Google may withhold taxes from non-U.S. YouTubers. Google Local is also testing estimated prices near you. Is Google moving forward towards greater search equity? We'll find out today. We also have a Twitter contest for episode 404. You're listening to News from The Edge of the week, March 15th, 2021, here on Edge of the Web Radio.
From the Edge of the Web studios, here's what we're looking at this week.
Try doing that with one breath, you know? It's all about the coffee, man. It's all about the coffee. This is Edge of the Web Radio. I'm your host, Aaron Sparks, owner of Site Strategics. Every week we bring you amazing guests to talk about trending digital marketing concepts and topics. Each week we're actually covering SEO and digital marketing news in a separate weekly news podcast, and you're here listening to it or watching it on YouTube, getting more news to you even more quickly each and every week. So check out all of our content over at edgeofthewebradio.com. That's edgeofthewebradio.com. Welcome to the Site Strategics Digital Marketing News Desk of Edge of the Web. To my left is actually, we have a guest here, and this guest could actually be in your home next week. We'll talk about that more in the, the podcast listener has no bloody clue what I'm saying here.
I'm going to be in your home next week?
No, that's creepy. All right, so I'll tease that up. We've got a contest prize here, and we'll talk about the contest here in a minute. But we have Morty Oberstein on the line. He really just creeped me out. I mean, what's the running total here? Like within a minute, he's usually dropping something like that, right?
Easily. And the goal was to get people to join the contest, but now I'm worried with Morty's promotion. We'll have no entry.
We will ship Morty to your home.
I can be in your home next week, and I'm not leaving afterwards.
We're going to put him in a box, and we will not punch holes in the box.
I can hear listeners uninstalling Twitter from their phones right now.
I just want to point out for our listeners listening to this, right, because they can't see the prize. Right. You basically introduce a microphone before you introduce me.
I did, absolutely. And you know what?
That's fair.
It sounds better. It sounds better, right?
It does sound, it's a microphone. Of course it sounds better, but I'm bumped.
Oh my gosh. All right. So with that failed attempt to launch here, this is Morty Oberstein, SEO liaison over at Wix. Morty, what's going on with you?
Nothing. I've been usurped by a microphone.
You have. It could be worse. It could be Bernie right here with a microphone. So,
ooh, there's a nice microphone though.
Thank you.
What kind of model is that? I'm trying to redeem myself.
It's a Rode NT microphone for our listening audience and about podcasting audience, and we're going to talk about that in a second. So don't spill the beans.
$1.
I'm sorry, Bob.
For Jacob, the groom. $1.
All right. Well, we'll tell you about this in a second, but we want to jump into news. But before anything else, what's going on in Morty's world?
I'm unbelievably under lockdown again. I can't get away from this.
I'd be taking it personally at this point in time.
We're open. The country's open. I'm vaccinated.
And
the town that I live in is now a red zone. So it's locked down.
Oh.
So people are literally posting pictures of, hey, look, I'm at the cafe again. Hey, I'm at the restaurant. I'm stuck home with my kids again.
Oh my gosh.
I don't even know what to do.
My daughter experienced that. She was on lockdown because of kids in her school not being affected for 3 times. But I think you've got her beat there. Yeah.
And this is my 5th time around.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Do you get like a free Slurpee when you go down the garage to the gas station? Oh no, you can't go to the gas station.
Right. Well, I don't even know what I can or can't do because I'm vaccinated. Maybe I can. I don't even know. Not that it matters because someone's got to stay home with the children. Yeah. It's not my wife.
No, they'll take you down, man. They see you running on the streets, so they'll drop you like a rhino.
I get tasered or something.
All right. Too many jokes. All right, from Search Engine Journal from Matt Southern. Check this out. Google may actually withhold taxes from non-U.S. YouTube creators. Google will soon be required to withhold taxes, or the YouTubers will actually be required to withhold taxes on YouTube earnings generated from viewers in the United States. If you live outside the United States and have a revenue-earning YouTube channel with a U.S.-based audience, this applies to you. All right, so what's changing here? If you're a YouTube creator, you may actually begin to have taxes deducted from your U.S. earnings later this year. Google says it has a responsibility under Chapter 3 of the U.S. Internal Revenue Code to collect tax information from all monetized creators outside of the United States. In certain circumstances, Google will also be required to deduct taxes when YouTube creators' earnings come from viewers in the United States. YouTube creators will be taxed on U.S. earnings from ad views, YouTube Premium, Super Chat, Super Stickers, and channel membership. So this is the basics here. It's not about your analytics. It's about your advertising audience, basically. The audience is actually experiencing the ads that are running on your channel. So that's probably going to be less than maybe your U.S. audience, maybe more, but you're going to have to file for taxes on that U.S. earning audience. So go to payments, go to manage settings, into AdSense, and look for the U.S. tax info, and then hit manage tax info. There you can actually submit your information and fill out the appropriate tax forms. All right, so basically this is just the maturation of the advertising environment online, and you're going to have to cough up a coin or two. What do you say, Morty?
I say move to a country that doesn't have a tax treaty with the U.S. Right?
Yeah, you could do that, but the question is, this is the internet, right? So all things being equal, they could actually remove your U.S. watching audience. That would be
the only way this works, I think, is if that country has a tax treaty with the United States.
Right.
If it doesn't, like if you're in China, which I don't know, I do not know geopolitics. And it is possible there is a tax treaty, but North Korea, I would imagine, does not have a tax treaty with the U.S.
You should have been prepared for this conversation. I expected you to actually be thorough in your investigation here.
Sorry, I'm assuming North Korea or like Iran, one of these countries, does not have a tax treaty with the U.S. So move there if you're making a lot of money off YouTube and don't want to pay taxes.
So you just say move.
Is that ethical? Is that ethical? Probably not.
What, tax avoidance? Oh, absolutely not. And we do not condone that type of behavior.
Right, but it is interesting trend. I mean, so what? We're in 2021. Took me a minute to remember the year, and the government's just starting to realize, hey, we can make a lot of money by doing this.
Yep.
So just goes to show you how immature the digital space can be in certain times.
Absolutely. Now, we just reported on a news item last week regarding different states, right? And taxable income. What was the subject of our story?
Maryland.
And Maryland was actually taxing. What were they doing?
Out of state revenue.
That's right.
Yeah.
So all the states are getting involved. U.S. government's getting involved. It's an all skate, everybody.
Yep. Wow. I mean, you got to imagine do other countries already do this? I feel like we should know this.
I don't think they do.
Right, does England charge
it's probably coming, right?
Yep.
Further down the article, it
do.
does say if you don't fill it out, they'll just keep 24% of your total earnings worldwide.
Ouch.
Worldwide.
Oh, it's not 24% of your U.S. advertiser audience. They're going to take a quarter of your earnings unless you file.
That's what it says right there.
Wow. Look at that.
If the creator's tax information isn't provided by May 31st, Google may be required to apply for the default withholding rate of up to 24% of your total earnings worldwide.
Something doesn't link up there.
I think it's designed to hurt more than if you just do what you're supposed to.
Right.
All right. So on to the next bit of news here over at Search Engine Roundtable with Barry Schwartz at the helm. Google Local tests estimated prices near you. Now check this out. Google Local is testing a feature to show estimated prices near you for specific types of queries. And Obhav Garg, I hope I did his name justice there, spotted this box for a query on a roofing company's Hackensack, which showed estimated prices for a roofing job in that area. Okay, so it's right above the local 3-pack there, and it's ranging roof repair from $226 to $272 with labor cost and material cost. Okay, so there, Google's actually saying this is sourced by HomeWise. It's a service to get you pricing on home repair jobs. They're actually partnered up. Google local service ads are actually partnered up with HomeWise for typical services in this area. All right, so I'm going to take a first swing at this thing. I am not comfortable with Google pushing third-party estimates of services when you could very well have not an apples-to-apples type of service out there. So let's take, for example, services for web development, right? And services could range from $250, right, to onward of, who knows, $50,000. It's not the same thing. And if Google's actually taken a swing at, these obviously are well-known services, but man, there's a lot of risk there that could inadvertently hurt local businesses if the consumers are armed without the facts, just this general range. It could actually be a hole that local businesses that are advertising or are visible there are going to have to dig themselves up before even talking through their services with the customers. What say you, Morty?
That's a really good point. And I think a lot of it goes to the language that they use. If you look down the whatchamacallit, they write typical price in the zip code, but the initial information doesn't say typical price. It just says here's it's an estimated price. And I used to work oddly enough, I used to work in property management a long time ago. So yeah, I mean, look, one from job, this is like a plumbing job, which I think that was the example they used. No, they used a roofing job. First of all, the type of roof you have, right? The extent of the damage,
right? And
then what happens when that you get an estimate and then they realize there's more damage there they didn't realize to begin with,
right? Exactly.
So now the customers are going to think, oh, I'm being ripped off, when maybe that's not actually true, and then you get a bad review.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you have a domino effect here. And on top of that, if somebody comes in on the lower end of the scale, you also have, especially in these services like roofing, right? I mean, you got a lot of kind of ambulance chasers, roofing companies that go through and say, hey, you got hail damage, you got hail damage, you got hail damage, so they can get the insurance write-off. And I mean, there's fleets of scrupulous individuals that come through. And I mean, is that actually being calculated in the home-wise equation? I think this is just, as soon as we start getting prices in there, and then you also have the quoting tools that Google Local is actually providing, they're really getting into the space where we didn't intend them to be. You know, we want to be able to have a even playing field of visibility, but not changing the prices or fixing the prices in a local market, right?
That's again, like that's like a really hard one. Like I like this for products, and I get why Google does this for products, because it's a place where it's an unique advantage to Google over Amazon. If I can show the general pricing trends of a particular product, then I can tell the user, well, you're paying too much, or it's a good deal, or this is how much the price of the product typically costs.
Right.
And that's something that Amazon doesn't give you. So I get why Google does that. And you've seen them test that out with things on the product side of things. But on the service side of things, it gets really, really tricky, because you don't really know. You don't know how to qualify. You don't know what it is. And you don't look, why shouldn't a skilled roofer charge more?
Absolutely, because they put in the years, right? Right.
Like you're going to get a better job. It'll last you longer, let's say.
I think if anything, you know, the Angie's List side of things, or maybe the knowledge panel play here is not the pricing, but what you should know. Kind of checking out what constitutes a quality roof or a quality years of service, something like that. That's more information.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. If they first off, if they were a little bit less definitive in their language,
yeah,
right, you might expect to pay for your typical average roofing job. Warning, your job may not be average. But if they broke it down by type, like Spanish tile versus tar roof, right, and then they broke it down, you know, the typical price you're going to pay for how many years of warranty. Like if they broke it down by nuance, like that would be a little bit more, I would be okay with that for the most part. But just kind of throwing it out there, kind of, in this case, okay, like the range is like pretty, let's say you have like a really wide range. Then what? Like let's say it was like $200 to $10,000.
Exactly. It's all over the map. And on top of that, there's apples to apples that you just can't educate that consumer at first blush, right? So I'm sure they're picking these services very carefully, but they are services, and there's a heck of a lot that goes into quality there. And boy, I think it's risky to say the least, you know. But
did you guys catch the material cost on that example?
Yeah.
The material cost is estimated at
$11.
$11.
I know, I saw
to
that.
$11.
That's one shingle.
They're using newspaper than duct tape.
It's a box of shingles and a guy that's going to jump up on top of your roof. Exactly. Yeah. So you don't even know whether or not. I guarantee. I'm not in roofing, but I guarantee I'm not going to be paying $276 for somebody to get on my roof and repair my roof. That's a whole nother hill of beans right there. Okay. It has some work to do, and we're not really sold on you starting to throw some pricing into the mix, Google. Come on. All right. So that said, let's switch over to our sponsors of the news. We're the continued sponsor of Edge. We're certainly proud to have them on board regularly. They've been a long-term sponsor for about a year and a half. Ahrefs makes competitive analysis very easy in SEO. Their tools show you how your competitors are getting traffic from Google and why. You can see the pages, the content that send them the most traffic, find out the exact keywords they're ranking for, and which backlinks are helping them rank. So if you're interested in what they do, if you're interested in getting more significant search traffic, their tools are also can help you find topics that are trending, and you can create pages and content, and you can actually find influencers in the marketplace as well with their tools. So check them all out over at ahrefs.com today. You can get 7 days for $7, the entire tool set, be able to audit your site, be able to see some critical factors to be able to improve your site right then and there. So check them out over at ahrefs.com today. All right. Third news article. Let's go and dig into this real quick before we get into our contest. And want to give some good credence on this particular article and a little bit of nepotism because it is coming from our own Morty Oberstein over here. But good, deep article, and don't want to sell it short either. Is Google moving towards greater search equity? So search equity allows for your average business owner to compete on the SERP without being impeded by a lack of SEO knowledge. Google is pushing for equity on SERP to a far greater extent, and the democratization of SERP represents an enormous paradigm shift that brings certain SEO skills to the fore. All right, here's the deal. Morty gives us a very large explanation of what Google is starting to do, changing the equity or changing the SERP real estate to be able to allow more local businesses, more businesses that are maybe not haven't developed their SEO skills or depth of content nearly as much. There's a playing field changing here, and I'm going to let Morty kind of take it away on this one. Tell me, what are we talking about here?
So first off, thank you for reading this because I tend not to write in brief, so I don't do brevity.
I noticed.
Yeah. That's a thing. Sorry. So, but thank you for reading it. Thank you for featuring this. I did not, for the listeners listening at home, I was surprised to see this on the agenda. I did not ask for it to be here. So
no
much
worries.
props to you. So
because I want to fence with you on this. This is why.
No, okay. So the deal's like this. If you look at a lot of things that Google's doing,
right?
And let's say passage rank is probably the clearest example of this, where Google's basically saying, hey, we're trying to pull out an understanding of the page when it's not structured. So it's like when you're not exactly familiar with how to structure a page, or maybe the content doesn't meet page structure, it doesn't really align to large amounts of page structure.
Right.
But again, the case I'm talking about in particular is where you don't really know what to do with your page structure because you're not an SEO. Google's, hey, we're going to be able to understand a page better than we did before, which that brings out a certain amount of equity by you're not limited by that barrier of, hey, you don't know page structure, you can't rank. Passage ranking, you can rank in theory. And there's a whole slew of examples of these. And I've had conversations with John Mueller about this on Twitter. We actually covered this here on the show a while ago, a couple months ago, a couple of weeks ago. I have no track of time. Where John was saying, hey, you know what? The closed CMSs, like, your Wix, your Shopifys of the world, pretty much take care of your technical SEO for you, or good enough was the language that John used, where you can just focus on writing great content. So again, that's another part of the move of there's opportunity for greater search equity because you don't have to know technical SEO.
Sure.
You just have to focus on the content. And Google needs to do this. And I'll give you the example I use is Google My Business. So if you look at the way Google My Business talks, the language that they use, they're trying to tell businesses, hey, this is a place where you can showcase your business, where you can have online digital success. So now what happens when you create a Google My Business listing, you feature your products in the Google My Business listing, you have your product carousel, you have Google Posts, you're featuring your product, you're doing a great job, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And now you're writing a blog post. and a lot of blog posts, and none of them rank. So now it's like, all right, well, Google, you're telling me that you're trying to promote me. I'm trying to showcase my site, my business here with Google My Business. But every time I try to do something organically, it doesn't work. There can't be a schism between the two because it takes away from the full power of Google My Business.
Okay.
So there has to be, Google has to create an equitable environment for these businesses in order to have them feel like Google My Business is a place where they have to understand that Google is a place where they can succeed, not just Google My Business, because your average business is not separating that. It's not saying, hey, Google My Business is great, I just can't rank on Google. If Google My Business is going to take off to the way they want to take off, if they want businesses to think about Google My Business in the way that Google does as a place to showcase your site and your product, it has to be uniform across all Google properties. All right. Which is, by the way, you see Google did that with Google Shopping. Hey, you don't have to pay anymore. It's free. So I should have used that in the post, and damn it, that was a good example. I just thought of that.
All right. So here's...
You're cutting me off. The music's playing. I get it.
let's play him off stage. All right. No, it's laudable. It's an arguable position. My concern is the concept of SEO being a portfolio that you invest in over time. And there have been long-term investors, companies that have built incredible content, not spam content, but valuable content. That type of equity shift basically nullifies the investment that they've made for the eons that they've been told to play the game inside of Google. Google has given Google Local as a playing field for the small businesses, and on top of that, they're already doing a local mashup. So content is shifting based on proximity already, right? To be able to bring forward on SERPs companies that haven't invested to that degree, and granted that there is a certain corporate cliff there of can you afford to invest, right? But there's also another expectation. If you're talking about ranking, the ranking paradigm, that they still have to create content. And if there's not a discipline inside that business to actually create content, subject matter expertise, just like you write in the article, if they're still not doing it, and then these sites that have 5 pages get lifted to the top of the SERPs compared to a company that's been doing 10 years of good, valuable content, I don't agree with that.
But I don't agree with that either, right? They have to write good content. Like you can't be expected to rank if you don't have the whole idea is that this puts businesses in a position to use their expertise to create good content. If you don't create good content, you have nothing. You shouldn't be on the SERP. You should be on page 1. You shouldn't be on page 100. You shouldn't be on page 1,000. Absolutely. If that even exists.
Absolutely. I'm sure there are some thousands back there, but we're all in the same boat. They have to create content. They don't have to create. Yeah. And this is Google's removing more and more of the scrutiny of the technical SEO. They're marginalizing this more and more. Now there's speed, which has to do with usability, and there's the entire core web vitals. They're leaning into that because that has the user experience factor, right? But you still have to create good content, whether an expert content. That's why the brand SERP is so important, because now if you're being cited with authority with the content that you're actually providing, yeah, those are new factors that weigh out any particular technical SEO tooling, right? And it should, because when it gets down to it, it's about content. Not see, I've been in technical SEO for a long time, and I'm crossing over to Morty's side here because he's been talking content SEO. It has always been content SEO, but if you impede your content spiderability and visibility, I mean, you still have to know what you're doing in that space. But the times are changing, obviously, and you do need to produce more valuable content, not the glut that we currently have out there.
Correct. That's the problem. I talk about in the article, like there's a shortage of content, not in terms of pages, but in terms of good content doesn't exist. I mean, how many times have you gone online like this is crap? It's really annoying. So Google needs to create, that's the other part of this. Google needs to incentivize people to create this good content, and it does so by creating an equitable environment, which, by the way, I'm not saying that technical SEO is not important, and I'm not saying sites shouldn't do it, especially if you're a larger site. It's really important to have all that there. Yep. What I'm saying is that there's opportunity for SEOs to do more in terms of content and content strategy and SEO strategy. It's really synonymous to me at this point.
Yep.
with these types of sites in order to advise them, because they need to understand how and what to create.
They do.
And that's going to be a bigger market than there has been, in my opinion.
And business owners and subject matter experts inside of businesses must step up to the plate and be able to showcase what they know, how they know it, and be able to be able to provide that content. It's not about the delivery; it's about the value.
They have no clue. Business owners, I think, really don't have a clue what it means to create good content for search.
All right, I agree with you there. I wanted to make sure that we stood up for the guys that have been playing officially by the game for the longest time, invested a huge amount of value in their own sites. You'd hate the rug to be pulled completely from underneath them because of this type of shift, right?
I don't think that's what it is. I think, look, it makes sense to do as many best practices as humanly possible, because hey, that might give you a little bit of an edge where that site might have a little better content than you, but they're a complete disaster technically. So yeah, hey, you might have the advantage, and of course, it's better for your users. It's better for Google. It's more efficient for Google, right? You're forcing Google to do more work that it doesn't want to do and expend more resources by not being technically optimized. So I'm not saying that's not part of the equation. I'm just saying there's another aspect to the equation, and I don't have a good. How does it all play out, and how does it all balance itself out?
Right.
I don't have a good answer because it hasn't. We'll see, I guess.
Yeah, we will. And we're going to see a lot of SERP starting to change around. We've already seen some things happen here this month alone and last month with knowledge panels starting to change up. It's almost like there's a new playbook that Google's starting to roll out here. And we're going to see, I think, 2021 is probably going to be the content and subject matter expertise game for any compared to any other year. This is the one. All right, so there's my prognostication there. All right. So, good article. We certainly appreciate the time that went into that. We want to give show notes to you, and everybody go over and give some comments over to. And I didn't even mention where it was. It was over at Search Engine Watch, right?
That's right.
Cool. All right. So we're going a little bit long on this show, but we wanted to introduce our contest. All right. So this is episode 402. Next week, we're going to have 404. And we were debating whether or not we would just have a looped recording, like telling you that this is a show. You can't find it. This page or this podcast can't be found. You get it, right? Technical SEOs, 404. All right. So we thought better of it. And so we wanted to be actually talking about 404s next show. So we're going to run a contest. We're going to be giving away a great podcast recording kit to my left for the best submission of a 404. We're talking submissions, taking submissions this week only for the best 404, whether it's funny, consumer engaging, brilliant, whatever you got. The best example of a good use of the dreaded 404 page. Let's check this out. What we have here is a Rode NT USB Versatile Studio quality USB mic. That's the cardioid condenser microphone. We got a Vogec professional DJ headphones and a monoprice microphone isolation shield, so you can sound the best. And we're actually going to be giving that away, and we're going to be announcing the winner on the show next week. So it's going to be dropping Tuesday. So we picked 3 judges to help us out. That's Lily Ray, Jason Baynard, and J.R. Oaks. They're going to be reviewing the submissions and joining us on the show next week. Got some rules. Tweet your 404 link, not a screenshot, with the hashtag Edge404. You have up to 3 submissions. If someone has already submitted one of yours, it won't count. First entry gets a submission. Submissions end 5 p.m. Eastern on Friday the 19th. All submissions must be deemed safe for work. You don't have to submit your own content on your website. Judges' decisions are final and will be announced during the show number 404 on Tuesday, March 23rd. We're running a side bet, actually, between Morty and myself. Mention one of our accounts, all right, in the tweet, Team Sparks, hashtag Team Sparks, or hashtag Team Morty. All right. And we're gonna have a race to see how we can pull some 404s out of the internet and get into this contest. How about that?
It's a race. I'm winning.
I don't know what we're gonna give ourselves as a prize.
Yeah. What do we? Wait. What if I win? What do I get?
We'll ship you to some listener's address.
And perfect. I hope I have a pool and a sauna. If you win, I have to give you something.
I don't know. I think we're gonna figure this thing out. Yeah,
we gotta figure this out.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out what that bet is. Jacob, do you have a thought here?
No, we can take some suggestions at
yes!
those same hashtags as well. But I will remind everybody it's Morty. So if Team Morty with a T wins,
damn it.
That's me.
Oh,
I'm going to win if everyone takes over and misspells Morty's name.
Yeah, that's not fair. Aaron is way easier to spell than Morty.
No, they'll misspell his name too.
Oh God!
But Aaron,
don't even get me started on that. My first grade teacher, she was looking around the. I'm not even going to tell you about that. I'll share that story if you win. All right.
Okay.
So we got a full fleet of rules over at edgeofthewebradio.com /edge404. So those are the official rules of the contest. It's running Tuesday noon Eastern. All right, and that is the 16th. Of March, all the way through the 19th of March. So start hitting us with 404s, and we're going to be covering everything on the show. We're going to have a number of our judges on the show with us, so it's going to be a 404 free-for-all. How about that?
Ooh, that's good.
You know what I'm saying?
You just came up with that.
I did, on the fly.
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
So we certainly want to get a fleet of them in there and give us some crazy ones, but there are some rules, and you got to abide by them. Nothing salacious or negative, or you'll read all the other claptrap that we just don't want to see in the channel. So go over there. We got a killer mic set for you to record your podcasts, and let us know. Hey, you certainly want to be on Team Sparks, especially if Strategics is actually doing the promotion, right?
That's a thumb on the scale. Wow. Jeez. Are you that worried?
Absolutely not. No, I'm just saying, hey, just know who you're. A compliment. Just know who is giving the prize away. All right. We're just going to plow through and go into SEO chat as well, making sure that everybody knows about that, right? So what's going on with SEO chat? Are you talking about 404?
Bree Anderson. Anderson is hosting. The lovely Bree Anderson, the fantastic Bree Anderson is hosting. It's at 1 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday, and it's all about SEO reporting because nothing is as exciting and as vivacious and as spicy as SEO reporting.
Yeah, you got a point there. I enjoyed immensely, but it can
you have no life.
All right. Well, we wish you all the best in the world, and let's have some healthy competition. Don't start throwing out some Twitter ads. Okay, I know.
I'm not gonna sponsor posters. I mean, I like you guys.
Do it.
Now,
oh my God, do it.
Just saying. All right. Well, that's it for this week. Make sure that you get your sponsor, get your 404s in there, and make sure that hey, we're gonna have a great time checking out some of these 404s. Tag some of the judges out there. Oh yeah, Jason Baynard, Lily Ray, and J.R. Oaks. But don't try to influence them. Just let them know that you're sending them your way. All right. From all of us over at Edge, we certainly appreciate you listening. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And from all of us over at the Edge, be safe, be well, and do not be a piece of cyber driftwood. We'll talk to you on Show 404. Bye.